Hello everyone, a warm welcome to Maths Bridge. Thanks for joining with us in learning web development. In web development, what we had discussed is mainly we have a web client, we have a web server. Web server holding all the deployable instance, but through web client you are accessing web server either using any URL domain through which you are accessing the landing page of your server instance, right? But the now question is how you are going to test it during your development phase. All the changes dynamically you need to test them, isn't it? That's why I am reiterating that how many ways that we can test our development. What is a simplest way that VS Code supports? Like I mentioned last time, I use Visual Studio Code IDE for my web development. Let's say that's the use case that I'm talking about. So how to enable live server from Visual Studio Code is what I'm going to cover in this session. We are very happy and most exciting to inform you all my happy learners and first time visitors. Our Mathspace knowledge corpus is get growing day by day. Please do visit us our YouTube channel Mathspace www.youtube.com/Mathspace. Sure thing is some takeaway as far as knowledge concern. Okay. Please do subscribe the channel and support us. Please drop a message. We'll get back. Here is our today's learning agenda. One of the method for the testing is using web browser. Web browser is nothing but your web client. What happens is like when we develop a web page, like in a HTML page can be opened using your web browser. Let's say for instance, I have a file name named file.html, which I'm storing in this particular path, right? So if I would open file through web browser, this is how my address bar look like, and this is the content which renders on my web page. Okay, means like I could directly see my absolute path. So this means like this is web browser I'm using to test my changes, but this is not feeling gives me a feeling that this is a server short of a testing, because how the real-time server would look like, right? How do I get that kind of feel? So VS Code, we have an option to do that. So in VS Code, if you have a live server instance installed, the extension of VS Code gets installed, no? Then what happens is you will be able to launch the same page using the live server. In that case, your address is your website address looks like this way. The 127.0.0, this is kind your local address of your system, and the server listens at 5500 in this context. So your IP address colon your port number, basically your server instance where you could see your page got launched. So web browser really look at as a real-time server, in this case your live server instance. Okay, what is an advantage by doing that? So whenever you make a changes to your HTML page of this named.html, the changes reflects automatically as and when you save the changes. That's the beauty of live server concepts. Let's get into VS Code, and then I will show you like how to enable live server so that you can test that easily during your development. Like I said, I'm using VS Code for my web development. Okay, this is the file named file for this demo that I am referring. Let's assume that I have a simple web page which I created. I will put like one header here, head section, heading, which is of what you can put it, welcome to MathsBridge. Okay, so let me save the changes using shortcut is like a Control S. Now how do I test it? I will open this using your web browser. Okay, like I said, what happens is like I have a full absolute path is what I can see, a source file path basically, which is not a good practice, but since I'm doing local testing, it should be okay. But what I have seen as a text is like welcome to MathsBridge. Let's say if you wanted to do like some short changes here, meaning adding one more line like happy learning. Got it? And what should I do? I have to save the changes. When I save the change, this space, I'm not getting anything, right? What I have to do, like in order to get reflected the changes that I made, I have to use refresh button, then I can see it. So right, so now to avoid this step, we can use one more option in VS Code called live server. So how do you enable the live server in the VS Code is what I was trying to refer. Okay, let me show you. When you open this, right, you have extensions, right? You click on extension and then type for live server, like a live server. You have that server extension is available. You just install that server, live server instance. Once you get installed, what would happen is that you will have that option here, open with the live server. You open that same page with the live server, right? Let me open that with the live server. Great. So do you see now, when I open with the live server, what I'm getting is like I'm getting this IP address which is of my local server IP address. This is a port number at which my server instance, live server, is actually listening. And next I am getting like a path, the relative path of my file where it resides. Okay, this is one thing. Now I could actually see my rendering information. Previous page you see absolute path. Now I'm seeing is like an IP address based, the address path is what I got it. Okay, but the another advantage of having the live server is like if I would actually make any changes to this this particular web page, what happens is like as soon as you save the changes gets reflected on the web page without you reload or refresh the page, which is the one of the advantages having. So what I would do, like I will try to make a changes here. You can lively see. Say let's say H2. I am happy to start learning Python. Right, I made a changes here. Now what I will do, like I will save the changes. The minute I save the changes, I can see the changes get reflected on my web page. Let me see that. Control S is what I use as shortcut for save the changes. The minute I save the changes, you see this one. I am happy to start learning Python. Beautiful, right? This is why I'm saying like VS Code supported live server. If you could actually enable, you will have start enjoying of your testing part. It's because you feel like you are doing a real deployable live servers for your testing. So how to enable live server in VS Code is what I covered. I hope you clear with this. I want you to try enable live server in your VS Code setup and then try using it. If you have any question, feel free to actually post it. I will respond back. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, click on bell icon and leave the comments. Happy learning. Thank you. Stay tuned to upcoming sessions.